Welcome back to the Sanctuary and Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. Kruznik X here. Last episode, we progressed through Vanguard, only to find Yyasulani not the same as it once was in Erenville's time. Here we are in Heritage Found. What will we find beyond, I wonder? Well, only one way to find out. Let's get right down to it and continue our journey with the next quest, the Land of Levin. It doesn't make sense. That tower, was it always there? No. Definitely not. Nor the wall over there. The material's not something we use in Toral. It's closer to what we saw at the gate to the Golden City, or those mechanical soldiers. Such a massive structure couldn't possibly have been built in so short a time. Then I'm inclined to assume we've been transported to another location. Or perhaps... well, speculation will avail us not. We need to learn more before we can draw conclusions. Let's take a look around then. All right, let's ride. That looks like a train station, doesn't it? That must be Yyasulani Station, where the passengers disembarked. Then perhaps we'll find someone to talk to there. Let's go and investigate. Guess we gotta go up this way. Oh, there's the road. Is it just perpetual rain here, I guess? I'm pretty sure this is Yyasulani Station. But from the state of it, I'd swear it was abandoned years ago. I'm not sure what to make of this. We should look around a bit more. Well, we might as well tune to the aetherite too. Seeing as how it's still working. The building is a rotting husk. It's clearly been many years since anyone lived here. The tracks are heavily rusted. It would seem they haven't been tended to for a long while. Oh, there's an ether current. You find a train turntable. The thick layers of rust suggest it hasn't been used in years. Finished poking around, have you? Let's gather everyone then. I want you all to take a look at this. It's one of the mechanical soldiers, long since broken apparently. But I'd say its presence confirms this is indeed Zoraja's domain we're in. What about the rest of you? Did you learn anything? So all evidence suggests this is Yyasulani Station. Aye. And I've no doubt we're in Yyasulani. But I don't understand why these buildings are so run down. They were completed barely a year ago. For new structures to deteriorate and enormous ones to appear in a flash. If I didn't know any better, I'd say time flows differently here. Is such a thing even possible? We have encountered this phenomenon before, as it so happens. Though it may be difficult to believe, our world is but one of several. In some respects, they are similar to one another, but in others, wholly different. We call them reflections. Simply put, the rift between dimensions causes time to flow at a different pace in each world. While hours pass in one, years may have come and gone in another. But if this is Yyasulani, then we should still be in the source. The flow of time should be synchronized. I'm not sure I follow all this talk of reflections and dimensions. But if Erenville says this is Yyasulani, then it must be. Your village is a little further along, right? Erenville! Oh, yes. It's a short distance to the northwest. Let's head there next then. Rather than talk theory, it's always better to confirm things firsthand. Bzz. May I be of assistance? It's still functioning? It doesn't seem to be hostile, at least. Perhaps we can ask it some questions. Can you tell us where we are? Unable to confirm credentials. Please present citizen identification. Unable to confirm credentials. Confirm. Confirm. Seems it's broken after all. Too strange by half. Let's leave it be and get going. Are those lightning rods? Would you accompany me for a moment? There's something I wish to investigate. It's along the tracks. Oh no, it's lower. There he is. What's up, Raha? Look there. The lightning appears to be drawn to those pole-shaped structures over yonder. The design suggests there's some manner of lightning. Let's go and take a closer look. Yeah, next time don't fuck with me, buddy. This material appears to be the same as that used in the mechanical soldiers and warships. On closer inspection, it appears to bear fine etchings, rather reminiscent of arcane runes these. I suspect they're not merely decorative. I would posit it's used to harness lightning as a source of energy. Quite impressive technology. I'll share this observation with Y'shtola. For a blessing, the dome doesn't appear to interfere with link pearls. Thanks for accompanying me. Let's head to the village and find the others. What in the world?
My home. It's in ruins. But why? What happened here? And where is everyone?
I had a look in a few of the other houses, but they had clearly been abandoned.
Damn it all. None of this makes sense.
Nope, no it does not.
Excuse me, are you looking for someone?
You.
I apologize for giving you a fright. However, I did have reason to keep to the shadows. Sorolcha has told me a great deal about you.
Eh?
Sorolcha?
Greetings, and welcome to the realm of Alexandria.
Huh?
I am Sphene, the Queen of Reason.
Queen of Reason?
If you are the Queen of Reason, is there perhaps a...
Yes, if you mean to ask if there is a King of Resolve. Zorulja holds that title, and together do we reign.
Then you're both behind the attack on Tulishola.
And I doubt you're here to offer us a warm reception.
No, you have it all wrong. I am not come to fight.
And what are you here for?
Zorulja rules alongside me, but that is a matter of expedience. In truth, we are at odds, he and I. It is at considerable risk to myself and my people that I come before you to beg your aid.
Our aid? I'll admit I cannot imagine King Zorulja is keen to share and share alike. But if what you say is true, you're still the queen.
Indeed. But I was once the sole ruler of Alexandria. Until one day, he appeared, bent on conquest. In my weakness, I feared his power. So I persuaded him to forego violence and strike a bargain. I would remain queen, and he would receive technology that would empower him to achieve even loftier ambitions, along with the knowledge to use it. A gamble, to be sure, but if it might spare my people...
If I may, the dome surrounding these lands was erected but recently. How is it he was able to not only invade, but instate a new system of leadership in a mere matter of days?
I've never heard of your realm. And this place is, or at least was, Yyasulani. The house I grew up in is still here. But 3 years ago, that tower and these strange contrivances weren't. Nor was our village in ruins. Where did you come from? And what happened to the people who lived here? You must know!
I realize how confusing this all must be. Truth be told, I don't fully understand it myself. What I can say is that one day, people from your Tuliolol suddenly appeared here in Alexandria. Or perhaps it was we who found ourselves in Tuliolol. Until but recently, we were completely unaware of events taking place beyond the barrier surrounding our realm.
Does this not remind you of the Crystal Tower? How after the 8th Umbral Calamity, we devised a means to transport the Spire across time and space from the source unto the First. Granted, this is on a much larger scale, if that is indeed what has happened. Not only the people and structures, but also the surrounding environment. Regardless, the people of Lakeland perceived the arrival of the Crystal Tower much as the Queen describes her own experience. Sudden and inexplicable.
Well then, you appear to have a better grasp of our circumstances than we do. Indeed, more than I dared hope. In which case, a closer examination of the effects of this phenomenon may afford us more insights. Allow me to take you to the outskirts. A number of the Shatona live there as well. Perhaps your acquaintances are among them.
Hold on. If we accept, there's no guarantee we're not walking into a trap.
But if we're to defeat Zorulja, we need to understand how he grew so strong. Besides...
You're right.
Queen Sphene, before we go, Your Majesty, I have to ask, did you really have nothing to do with the attack on Tuliolol?
Noble Wook Lamart, shall we dispense with the formalities? I'll not deny the soldiers and airships that attacked your people are products of Alexandria. But it was Zoralja, not we, who fashioned them into weapons of war and laid siege to Tuliolol.
So he alone is to blame.
No, I may not have prosecuted this war, but I nevertheless bear responsibility for it.
Perhaps. I know next to nothing about you, let alone what you've been through. So by all means, show us around. I think we'll learn a lot from meeting your people.
Wonderful. If you would follow me.
So what, we're getting a guided tour now? Isn't it a little odd for the queen to be walking about on her lonesome?
Is that concern or suspicion? If things should take a turn for the worse, might I call upon your aid? I jest, of course, but you do strike me as the most capable here.
Well, I mean, what have we really got to lose, I guess? I think it goes without saying, but we're not going to trust her just like that, right? Any way you look at it, a mysterious girl who appears out of nowhere, proclaiming herself a queen, is suspicious. The 8th Umbral Calamity added to the Unending Codex. Let's do one more quest before we call it a night. Well, having established that we should be wary, we could use some more information. So, let's head to this place, the outskirts, and see what we can learn. Perhaps about Sveen as well. I trust you have similar farming facilities in Tural. They're completely different from ours. I've got no idea what all those machines do. We settled on this approach after some trial and error. The Turali have their own methods of farming, which they wanted to continue employing. But the environment makes it challenging. There's too much rain and not enough light. Thankfully, the use of electro has allowed us to fortify the buildings here, as well as provide what nature cannot. What? Electro. It's a material we use for myriad devices and applications. A topic for another time, perhaps. If you would follow me, we're nearly to the outskirts. Oh, okay, it was a straight shot.
you'll doubtless find much of what you see in Alexandria strange. The traditional agriculture practiced in this village, at least, should be familiar.
Queen's Fiend? What business brings her here, I wonder?
The Queen has come!
You look well, Paquine. And Katonye, I see you've already taken to your new position.
When she introduced herself as queen, I was expecting someone colder. Honestly, she reminds me of you, Lamachi.
Me?
It's only natural for a ruler to love her people. And I should like to know them as best I can, even the most trifling details.
The more you come to know them, the more you grow to love them. Who they are and what they've built.
That's it. Beautifully put.
And it would appear that she is well loved in turn.
Your Majesty, you honor us with your presence. And who are these fine people?
Tuliolol's vow of resolve, Wuk-Lamat, and her companions. They come from beyond the barrier, but you needn't worry. They are good people and are to be treated as my honored guests.
The rumors of a link to the outside are true, then. Wuk-Lamat is still so young. Where are my manners? I am Popone, a leader of sorts of the people living out here.
Okay.
Popone? That is a Tonawautan ring to it.
Right you are. I take it you hail from this region as well? Teshpiani, perhaps?
Yes, I do. I don't suppose you know a woman by the name of Kafkiwa?
Kafkiwa? I'm afraid I'm not sure if I've ever met someone with that name.
Mother isn't here. But it's a relief to know at least some of the people of Yyasulani are alive and well.
Your mother, you say? Now that you mention it, I do see the resemblance.
You know my mother?
And here we go.
I do. Yes.
Then tell me, please, where is she?
I cannot say. Not here, but I promise I will in due time.
I have a question, Pepone. Do you recall what happened the day the dome first appeared?
The barrier? Well, I remember fixing a shelf that had collapsed after a terrible earthquake. Then the ground began to tremble. There was a brilliant flash of light, and then... Forgive me, my recollection of it all is rather poor.
You needn't push yourself, Popone. After 30 years, no one could blame you for not remembering.
Wait a minute.
30 years? As in 30 years in the past?
Absurd though it may sound, there is no doubt in my mind the events that led to the joining of our lands occurred 30 years ago. Which is not to say I understand why our perceptions of the intervening time are so radically different. We only just became aware of the discrepancy when Zoralja's military base was completed, and we were at last able to venture beyond the barrier.
I believed you long dead. To have the chance to kill you myself is an unforeseen blessing.
Years. Little wonder Zoralja assumed our father had already passed away.
It's not unlike how time passes differently in the First and the Source. The fluctuating space of the rift between them disrupting temporal equivalence. Perhaps the same holds true here, and time flowed faster within the dome.
You suppose time is still passing faster in here?
I was able to make contact with Yyasulani not long ago via Linkpo, so that shouldn't be cause for concern.
Good.
And based on the Queen's account, this encampment may have come to serve as a physical bridge between the two planes, after which the dome was forced into the Source's temporal flow.
If we're to be certain of anything, we need more information. Sphene, would it be all right if we had a look around and spoke with the townspeople?
By all means.
Time to see what we can see of Alexandria, then.
And its people. I may yet find familiar faces among the survivors from Yyasulani.
Even if I don't understand the half of it, I would learn more of this place before we confront Zoralja.
Perhaps you'd care to see how we make our living. Though we have always prided ourselves on the use of traditional Tonawatan farming methods, the use of electro-fueled technologies has led to countless agricultural innovations.
I would join you as well.
Ma'am, please, you needn't trouble yourself.
It's no trouble at all. And I promise not to cause any manner of distraction.
Reassuring words, or they would be had I not heard them countless times before. Very well, but do be careful.
Of course. I shall proceed with the utmost care. Now then, if you two would follow me, we can begin the tour.
I can't say that I trust her yet, but I trust that her affection for these people is genuine. And that's enough for me.
Okay. Electrope has done much to improve the efficiency of their farming, but it hasn't replaced everything. The people wanted to preserve their old way of life, and we did not want to force ours upon them. You went to such lengths so that our cultures could coexist, even going so far as to learn our tongue. I'm sure everyone appreciated that. Communication was thankfully not an issue, but the Turali tongue is surprisingly similar to Alexandrian. Of course, there are words and phrases for which there is no equivalent, but those can be taught with minimal effort. Through mutual respect, understanding, and patience, we Alexandrians and Turali have learned a great deal from one another. And I'm sure there is much you wish to learn as well. So please, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. Well, the first thing I'm fucking doing is making sure I attune to the Aetheryte, because I'm calling it a night tonight. Ooh, a forecast terminal. Thank you for accessing the forecast terminal. Acquiring meteorological. In heritage found, it is currently experiencing umbral static. Prediction models forecast extended clouds. According to extended projections, the area will be experiencing umbral static this time tomorrow. Error detected in meteorological assessment matrix. Forecast unavailable. That's interesting. I like the forecast terminals. Let's check out our gear. Oh yeah, I need to my new. There we go. Who knows? Maybe I'll get the rest of the gear from there tomorrow. We'll see what happens. For now, it looks like we still have a ways to go. I'm looking for... I will note about one thing, though. The name Alexandria. Feels like we're going to have a little bit of time worrying with Alexander, considering we spent a fair amount of time dealing with Alexander back in Heaven's Ward. Will Alexandria and Alexander have something in common? I'm not sure. But I won't know until I continue on with the quest, and that won't be until next time. So, that's going to be it for this episode. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned for final announcements. But if you're watching the VOD on YouTube and you like the video, click the like button below and leave a comment. Subscribe by clicking here and click the bell icon for notifications. Click here to watch more, click here to watch the full Dawntrail playlist, and click here to watch the next episode when it comes out. See you next time.